Yes, so take advantage. Welcome, welcome. Let me share my screen with you all. How is everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. So before we begin, we're going to have Teresita start us off with a prayer. Perfect. Can you hear us, Teresita?
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to say thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, for giving us this another day of life. And I want to thank you for this Mary Kay business that we all have here. Lord, thank you very much for blessing us, especially for our leaders, our Yaneris, and for Carla, and for their mother who has guided us through this beautiful business. I want to thank also Mama Mary for blessing us with our health, and pray for all of those fire victims and anybody suffering any kind of diseases throughout their bodies. Thank you very much for blessing me with this beautiful team of young women and inspiring us with the gift of Mary Kay. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's see. How's everyone doing? How is your week? Who is not afraid to share this evening? Janai?
I had a successful week.
Yes.
A very successful week. Actually, I was just talking to Yaneri to let her know that before I got home, I dropped off 2 books, catalogs to some of my parishioners from my church, the Latina group, and they were very excited. And one is planning to host a Mary Kay party for me, whether it's virtual or maybe even having some of her friends and family members come, maybe a small amount, but she's going to take her book to work. Also, I had one of Brett's family members place an order, and she also asked me to give her an extra book, which I went to her daughter-in-law's house and left a book. So I'm really trying to expand my little business. And I'm really excited because I'm thinking of different ways on how to attract more business. One is getting little knick-knack little gifts. I found this beautiful cup here. I don't know if I said it, but it's coffee and mascara. And I'm going to raffle off the little coffee cup. And I also found this beautiful, cute little towel here. I don't know if you can see it, but it also says coffee and mascara.
That's so
But I'm excited about the business and I'm having fun with it. And I also want to be challenged because I know, is it 57 years of Mary Kay's birthday?
Yes.
So I want to also promote 57 products to the list so that way I can challenge myself. I want to become a red jacket.
And you will do it, Teresita.
And you will.
Thank you. I know. I will.
Okay, ladies, so let's begin. Again, happy Tuesday, and let's make this September to remember. This is our agenda for today. So we're going to talk really quickly about the recognition. We have a fabulous guest speaker. We're also going to have some announcements, and we're going to test out how these breakout rooms work. Okay, so Yaneris, can you see the screen properly?
Yes, I can. And I'm super honored to be sharing with you all this amazing recognition. So as you all know, we don't have a national, okay? So we belong to the Mary Kay National Area, and we also are in the Diamond Seminar. And with that being said, can you please go to the next slide? And as you guys can read with me, it says here, Independent Sales Directors Building Reds, okay? Building leaders in the company. And as you guys can see, it says right there, my mother's name, Carla Somarriba. So we're super excited because she's over there, you know, working her business, always leading by example. And it says that her name has like a little, what do you call that? Oh my God, that little red star on there. It says at the bottom, multiple red jackets in 1 month in either June or July. So not only did she build one red jacket, but she built, I think, about 4. So we're so excited about that because during these difficult times, pandemic, these strange, different times that we're living in, we're still having so much success in the business, which means that this business, whether we're in pandemic or in regular times, it works out, right? So we're very excited about that. And as you can see here now on the left-hand side, new independent sales directors, we have 2. Alejandra Pasos, which is my mother's offspring, okay? And on the right-hand side, Carla Mendiola, which is my sister, and my mom is her, well, our mom is her senior, and we're so, so very proud. And then, okay, hold up. Okay, it says right here, top 20, Chord of Sharing. In 5th place, we have Carla Mendiola. And we're super excited because Carla, as you all know, she's a brand new sales director and she's achieving big things because she's competing with all directors, not just the new ones, right? This is at like the whole director top 20 level. So we're just very excited.
Thank you to my unit.
Yes, you guys are all doing an outstanding job, and it's so cool when you guys work like this because when you guys actually get to go to a Mary Kay event, the higher you are with your team and your director, you belong to like a prestige unit. So you guys get like better seats. You guys get more attention. You guys are like becoming popular. Like when you show up to events, people kind of like know you, like, oh my God, you're that girl that's always posting, or you're from that unit. It's so nice, right? To our guest speaker, I don't know if Sheikilya?
Sheikilya.
Sheikilya.
Okay,
Sheikilya.
cool. I don't know if you've been to a Mary Kay event before, but that's totally how it is. And people kind of point you out, or they kind of like, oh, look, there goes those girls at, they're doing good. So it's so cool. And I'm very proud of you guys because you guys are a brand new unit. And we're continuing with the recognition. They're rocking in red. So first time red jackets. We have Delia Covarrubias, also known as Lorena. So congratulations to you. And we also have Serena Gonzalez. And what I have to say about Serena personally is I know that she's been going through so many personal things in every aspect of the word, aside from the fact that she's a mother of 3 little ones. She's always trying to see like ahead. She's not so worried or focused about the issue that she's currently going through. She's kind of like, how can I do better, or what's next? Please continue to include me. And I really admire that because a lot of the times we're caught up in the issues and in the negativity because that kind of like pauses you, right? But I admire the fact that she's like, okay, that's my situation, but I want more, I want better. So I want to applaud Serena because I know that she just went through surgery and she wants to continue. So,
and made a sale during surgery.
I love that. And Carla led by example by doing that because Carla went under surgery as well. And she was also promoting her business right before surgery. So I'm so proud of you guys. And
last but not least,
last but not least, OMG, I need like all my pink stuff, my pink flowers that I have behind me. They're turning the roads of America pink. And with that being said, my mother is turning Daly City, California pink because she just earned the very prestige pink Cadillac. So we're very excited. I'm so proud of her unit. Obviously, all of us, right? We're her offsprings. Oh my God, it's such a big deal because everyone knows when they see that pink car, like, oh, look at them. That's a Mary Kay girl right there. And it's kind of like you don't really have to promote yourself anymore. They kind of come to you. Like, oh, how did you do it? Or, hey, do you have that Mary Kay stuff? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, people know when they see you in that pink car. And of course, it says Mary Kay on the side of each door. So it's so cool. And I'm so, so proud of my mom. And for those of you that know her on a personal level, you know that she literally came from nothing and went to the top because she worked her business. She wanted more for herself, for us, and she really led by example. And that's why my sister and I are here this day, because we're able to see that if she was able to do it, then of course we can do it as well. So enough of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sister. So now we're going to continue to the best part of the night. Today we have an amazing special guest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Her name is Sheikilya. She joined Mary Kay in May 2014. She debuted as a sales director in August 2015 and as a senior director just 5 months later. Ladies, 5 months later, okay? In May 2015, she earned the use of her first career car as a consultant, and she earned her second car in September 2015 and her first pink Cadillac in December 2015, just 4 months after debuting as a sales director. So in a total, she has earned 5 cars in her 6 years in Mary Kay. That's amazing. She has never missed a quarter of star consultant status. She has been a member of the Corps of Sales 2 times and a double star achiever 1 time. In her first year as a director, she earned the Triple Crown, debuted as the #1 new director in her class. Yes, that's one of my goals right now. And hit the 350K unit circle. Tell us. Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Her highest combined monthly income is over $8,000. Yes, she is the wife of BJ Thomas, and together they are raising 3 phenomenal young men, Malik 17, Elijah 14, and Nigel 11. Wow, can you guys believe that? We're not done, okay? Before she speaks, I have a little something to show you guys. Are you guys ready? Okay,
Yes.
well, give me a second. Let me prepare. This video that I'm going to play with for you guys will be able to view it in your Mary Kay in touch when you become a director, okay? This is how I got introduced to her. She inspired me so much, and I wanted to bring her here today and share with you guys her amazing heart. So please pay attention to this video. It's very loving and touching. I hope you guys all enjoy.
I'm a wife and a mother. That's probably the role that I want to get right the most. I'm also a researcher at a local university, at my desk doing conference calls, walking on campus to and from meetings. I've recently picked up a part-time business for a little bit of extra income, and it's become so much more. The reason why I think I'm able to be successful selling Mary Kay products is I use them exclusively. And I love the skincare. I was all about the miracle set. When I sit down with women, I talk about what I've been able to correct. What are the things that you want us to address at this facial? What are the things going on in your life? Think about the person sitting in front of you and give them your undivided attention. Tell me what it is you want, and then let me coach you to success. I love Career Conference. I love that it's offered in all these different cities. You know, it's quicker to get to for people. And I was so excited to see that 33% of my unit signed up. My sister is the mightiest little mouse you'll ever see. She caught the vision going to seminar. The things that you learn from the women at the top. And it just makes you believe that it's possible. Company events really bring it to life. What's next? I want to be a national sales director, which means I have to help a lot more people. So it's a lot of work ahead of me. I'm up for the challenge. I get up at 4:58 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Got a great workout group. We have shirts that say strong women lift each other up. Sports are a big part of our life, whether it's in a competition or just as a family. We have family basketball. We go.
I'm learning about these
We play
exciting.
games together. I love to show my kids things that they think I can't do because they think I'm too old. And now it's become like a family business. BJ helps with marketing. Even times when I doubted if I could make it all work, he would say, go for it. I would rather see you fail than to see you quit. He sees that I'm happy, and I think that's why he's so supportive of it. Malik is right off his help. He is so goal focused, getting products labeled. The boys help. If someone's next door or down the street, they will actually go take the products. What they see in me makes them believe more in themselves. 3 years ago, if someone had told me that I would have earned even one car, I would have called them crazy. And then 3 years later, have earned 2 cars.
5 cars in 6
We
years.
talk about enriching women's lives and
No, watch it.
more than just sharing the product. Sincere, genuine friendships that feel more like sisterhood. Because of my Mary Kay business, I can say that I make a difference every day. And I want my work to always be purposeful. I want it always to be meaningful. It is a sweet, blessed life.
Woo! Can we all unmute ourselves and give our amazing guest speaker a round of applause?
Wow. So
Bravo.
impressive.
It has been so long since I've seen that. Like my kids have grown so tall and I haven't seen the video in a while. And I'm looking, I'm like, they are so tall right now. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, they were babies when we filmed that. Like Malik is 6'3". He's 200 pounds. He's 6'3", 200, and like we're like the same height. It's crazy. Yeah, he graduates. And so that got me because I was like, my babies have really, really grown up since that video. I am elated to be here with you guys. Your director reached out to me, and I never really get on Instagram, and I really don't go into the little message part just because I'm actually on some social media things just to peek in at my kids and to see what's going on. But I saw this message from someone I didn't know, and I was reading it, and I was just inspired, and I was talking to my national sales director about her. And so I was like, this girl's incredible. And so I connected, I talked to my national sales director about the fact that she didn't have a national and if it would be okay. We have a small, close group that meets on Mondays. We didn't meet this Monday, and I forgot to tell you, Carla, because of Labor Day. We did it, okay. But she was like, yes, if you've gotten to know her and you think that she would, fit good with this group, please invite her. And so I was so excited to invite her. And when she asked me to do this, I was like, absolutely. And so today while I was working, I still work full time. So Mary Kay continues to be what I do part time. I do Mary Kay on nights and weekends. So I've worked all day as a researcher, and this is what I do in the evening. And I was just like, Lord, what is it that I should share with them? What can I share with them? Like I want it to be a good use of your time. And so the thing that came to mind was just to let you peek behind the curtains, because in Mary Kay, she just read my Mary Kay accolades. And when we go to seminar, we get inspired by all these things that people have made happen that we want to make happen. And what I wanted to do tonight, and I won't take a lot of your time, is just to let you peek behind the curtains from. The first thing that I want to say is, as a potential customer, I was overlooked. I have never to this day ever been invited to a Mary Kay skincare party. Ever. I had never been invited. The very first Mary Kay skincare party that I attended was the one that I had. It was my kickoff party. I had no idea what people do at Mary Kay skincare parties. I was like, let's just give this thing a go and see. By nature, I'm a tomboy. And so like I often say that God gave me 3 boys because he's like, you know what to do with boys. You don't know what to do with girls. So here are 3 boys. And so I don't know if people never thought to ask me, but I never was. So if anyone is telling you that the market is saturated, just know that there are people like me. I had never been invited to a Mary Kay skincare party. Don't let anyone tell you that everyone's already taken and don't let anyone. No one had ever invited me to a party. So I was overlooked. 2 years before I joined, I was running from the Child Development Center, where the youngest, where Nigel was, and a lady stopped me and asked me if I'd ever had a Mary Kay facial. I'm like, no, what do you do? And I said, do you have something for forehead lines? She asked me if I'd ever tried Mary Kay. I said, no. Do you have something for forehead lines? At that point in time, I was training for a half marathon and did not like what was happening to my skin just from being outside, running in the cold, running in the heat. And I noticed that my skin was aging. So she's asking me if I've ever tried it. No, I've never tried it. But if you have something for forehead lines, we can sit down. And she was like, I do. She came to my office, sat down on lunch, let me try the products just one-on-one. We hit it off, like hit it off. It was great. I feel like I knew her forever. And at the end, she said, have you ever considered doing what I do? And I was like, oh, no. I could never do that. Because in my mind, she was very girly, very beautiful, very well-spoken, very knowledgeable about the products. And in my mind, I'm like, I got none of that going on. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm very plain Jane. I don't know products. And so I was like, no, I'm not interested. So as a potential customer, I was disinterested. Okay. So overlooked as a potential customer, as a potential consultant, I was disinterested. She said, and I later found out because we were reconnected, she said that day, I know that she can't see it, Lord, but she can do this. If I am meant to work with her, bring her back to me. And she left it alone. She didn't push. When I said no, I did buy the Miracle set because I loved the way my skin felt. So we stayed in contact because I liked the product. She let me try the product and we stayed in contact. Eventually, one of her team members asked me to listen to the opportunity. And she was a grad student. I mean, we were grad students together. Della and I were very similar. So when my senior, who would be my senior, asked me to listen to the opportunity, all I could see was that we were so different. I had no, like I couldn't see me doing what Pam did because Pam was a bubbly cheerleader who knew everything, but Della and I were very reserved, very introverted, very similar. So when Della said that she had started on this and would I be one of her sharp people to listen, because I love Della, I listened. And I realized that 2 years ago, I told Pam I wasn't interested in something that I knew nothing about. I had in my mind what I thought Mary Kay was, but I had no idea. I knew no facts. I just had in my mind what I thought it was. Overlooked as a potential customer. Disinterested as a potential consultant. And then I get into the business and I start seeing that this business works when you do. I only wanted to come into this business to get a couple $100s for those boys that you saw on the TV. They were all in different sports, and I thought it'd be really cool to have a side gig to stash sports money aside. You know, my husband's in education, I'm in research. It wasn't that I was necessarily looking for a career change. I was just looking to supplement. I was looking for a side gig. And then it became so much more. Then I started looking at the career path and looking at like all of these things that were possible. Like there was this huge buffet of options that I had never even considered. And as I learned more about the company and loved the heart of the company, I realized that I wanted to do more than just my couple $100s each month. And so I made a decision in December of 2014 that I wanted to go into DIQ. One thing about me is I don't say things and then I don't do them, right? So like I was on a conference call with our national sales director. I think it was like our whole national area. And she was like, if you want to be a DIQ, let me know. And I got on email and emailed Sheikilya James, Georgia's first $1 million director, and told her I wanted to be a DIQ. And I missed it in December. I missed the goal. At that time, he had to have 10 to get in. And I think I had 8. And in January, I had 9 and I missed it again. And in February, I had 8 and I missed it again. And in March and April and May, I kept missing by 1 or 2 people. And I was like, God, like, I know you told me I'm supposed to do this. This is not working out. Like, did I hear you wrong? Like, I'm super frustrated. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna give it one more shot and see. June 1, I finally met with the 10 and I was able to declare for DIQ. And at that point in time, you also had to have what's called like 10 qualified and all that. So you had to have your unit size of 24, your 10 quals. And Sheikilya challenged me to do it in a month. You got 4 months at that time. She challenged me to do it in a month. And June 30th, which we know is the last day of the seminar year, we fell 1 person short. We were 1 person short. And do you want to know when she joined? A couple of days later in July. So we ended up finishing, but at that point in time, you still, because I went into another month, we had to finish it. So we ended up finishing 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks. And so why do I tell you all these things? So overlooked as a potential customer. There's someone out there that's like me. Disinterested as a potential consultant. Disinterested because I didn't have the facts. I didn't know anything. I thought I did, but I didn't. And then completely overwhelmed trying to get into DIQ. And I will tell you guys this, a lot of people don't know. I remember being at seminar that year, and I remember National Sales Director Heidi Gelzer was like so excited that I had finished before seminar, even though I wasn't going to be able to be recognized on the stage. It was like this big thing. And I just remember, you guys, June of 2015 was one of the hardest months of my life. Like, we had just finished our car the month before, and that month, within, I would say 10 to 14 days of each other, my grandfather was diagnosed with 9 aneurysms. My older sister was diagnosed with colon cancer at 41. One of my sons had a seizure at the table. All of this was in June of 2015. I did not share this stuff with people when I was going through because I was working and sobbing. Working for DIQ and sobbing. I listened to you talk about Serena, and I thought, yes, Serena. I listened. I think Yaneris, I think her name was Serena. And I was like, yes, it is okay to feel all of those things, but you keep working. Because sometimes when life is like being super unfair to you, the only thing that feels normal is to work, to get you out of bed when you don't know and you're trying to see if you need to go to a neurologist or if you need to go to a neurosurgeon. You're trying to figure out what's going on with your child. You're trying to help your family make the best decision for your grandfather. You're trying to understand why your sister, who's 41, has colon cancer when she's too young even to have the screening. And as the medical person in my family, I'm the one a lot of people will look to for answers. And I had none. I was completely overwhelmed, but I worked. And what I want to shift to is people will, especially if you're looking for someone to, if you're asking someone to potentially consider the opportunity, they may say they're disinterested like me because they don't know stuff, or they may say you're this way. I looked at Pam and Pam was everything that I thought I wasn't, so I felt like I wouldn't fit. And then they may say, I'm not a good salesperson, or they'll say, I'm not a people person, or I'm shy, I'm this. And I often tell people, you being a salesperson is not required, right? Because that's really not what we do. It's more so on building relationships. But more than anything, what I want to know is, what is your BBA? What is your bounce back ability, right? Because what I know is I can teach you how to move product. I can teach you how to get people to listen to the opportunity. But what do you do when life comes at you? Because it's coming. It's coming. And so what I want to end with is talking about pivot, your pivot skills. There's nothing, guys, nothing in this business that will benefit you more than your ability to pivot, especially in, like Yanira said, we are living in the craziest of times right now. Sometimes when I'm out and about and I'm looking at everyone and we're all masked and we're navigating, I'm like, this feels like a movie, but this is real life. Are you able to pivot? So P, know the plan. Know the plan. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hold on to that, right? When things don't seem like they're fair, when the world feels topsy-turvy, when things feel like I don't even know what's going on, know the plan. Know who holds the plan, right? Know that it's going to work out for your good. And even though we may have to go through trials to what it is we're working toward, know the plan. Hold firm to Jeremiah 29:11. That was a scripture that I held on to. I had a cancer scare a few years after my youngest son was born, and Jeremiah 29:11 was something that I held on to as I waited on results and dealt with the different issues. Know the plan, okay? So P, know the plan. Know who holds the plan, and also know that, there are sometimes people would love to say, I hear people say that they're waiting on the Lord and they're waiting on the Lord. Know that he's got it, right? Give him something to bless. Make sure you're moving. Make sure you're not sitting waiting on him to bless idleness. Know the plan. Work the plan. Know he's got it. Do your part. Okay? I inspire. When we're talking about pivoting, I will tell you this. One thing that's really important is when we're working this business, especially in a time where there may be a lot of other people around you who are working a direct sales business. What we do in Mary Kay is we attract and we don't attack. Okay? So what I've learned in these past 6 years is to be authentic. See, I thought that I wasn't going to be good at Mary Kay because I wasn't a bubbly jazz hands type of person. But here's what I know about people. They just want you to be you. So share yourself. Sincerity inspires people, right? Because even if whether they're like you or they're not, people know when you're being real. So let down your guard, share your goals, share your hits and your misses. I talked to my VIP, my customer group. I set a goal to sell 48 lip glosses in 48 hours. I felt like when I set the goal, because of everything that was going on, I felt like it was a pretty lofty goal, but I felt like this. If I set a goal that I know I can reach, I'm not stretching. So I was like, I'm gonna move 48 of these because I've been waiting for the limits to be lifted. The limits are lifted, I'm going in. I sold 41. And I told my customers, I missed it by 7, but to God be the glory that I set a high goal and sold 41 and actually hit it before the 48 hours. But at the end of the 48 hours, I hadn't sold 48, I had sold 41. And so they were like, oh, I was so rooting for you, whatever. But that shows them, right, that like I'm working. And when I miss, I'm okay to say, oh, I missed it. We'll get the next goal. They know that this isn't a quota. They know this is a personal goal that I set for myself, because what I know is that those 3 boys out there, they're watching me. They're watching me. So if I'm working on something, I'm marking it down. If I'm letting them see. When we went for Cadillac, we have a chalkboard that we like have everyone's workout schedule and what test is coming up and what assignment. When we were working for Cadillac, all of that was off and we were crossing off as we got closer. We were crossing off. I needed them to see that because they're going to be working for something big one day. And I want them to remember what it felt like to rally, what it felt like to see their mom dig in and do that. I remember we paused and went to church and came back and got back on it. And they were looking at the board, right? So inspire, attract, not attack. Share what you're going for. Don't be afraid to share it. Some people are afraid to share what they're going for because they're like, if I miss it, oh, there's going to be egg on my face, whatever. The only people who haven't missed a goal are the ones who've never set one. Those are the only people who've never missed a goal. And we're not worried about them anyway, right? Okay, V, be virtuous. Virtuous is the name of my unit. And it's the name of my unit for a reason, because I love the virtuous woman that's described in Psalms 31, Proverbs 31. Love that. But here, the definition of virtuous is having or showing high moral standards. So this is what I'm gonna say. One of you guys actually said, it was so funny when I was listening. I was like, they're saying things that I feel really strongly about. There's a lot of negativity in the world. There's a lot of negativity in the world, especially right now. Steer clear of it. Steer clear of it. Be higher than all of the things that you see. Be careful what you put out in the world, right? Because you could like or laugh at something that seems inconsequential. But as a woman in Mary Kay, be higher than all of that. I think of it like this. We need to be a beacon of light, right? When I think about what our founder was, even when I think about pivoting, can we imagine anyone who had to pivot more than this woman who 57 years ago decided to start a company after being overlooked for different promotions, being overlooked, training men who then got the job. And then, it's like, well, if you don't like how things go start your company. For a woman to have done that 57 years ago, do you understand the courage that it took? And then for the loss that she suffered right before the company launched, but she pivoted and she still did it. So when I think about the type of woman she was, and I read things about her, and I love to hear and talk to people who met her, and they talk about the way you felt in her presence. like wrap yourself in all of that when you think about yourself as a woman and married. Okay, wrap yourself in all of that. Be virtuous, be of high standard, right? Be a beacon of light. Make it so that when someone sits in your presence, be it at a facial or a party, they feel like you care. Like you're not looking at them with lenses with dollar signs on it. Like you genuinely care what's going on with you, what's going on with your skin, how can I help you, that you are there to serve and make her day better than it was before she sat down with you. Oh, be on purpose. My national sales director says, she has a saying and she says, nothing just happens, you have to make it happen. Nothing just happens, and success surely does not just happen. So even when you look at super successful people like Carla finishing that quickly, just know that she worked. It's not, there's no magic pill. There's no, she didn't have an easy button. I don't know if you guys remember Staples had that. It wasn't an easy button. That you have to be on purpose when you're doing that. She shared with my unit that wasn't initially what she was going for, but then she found out how close she was and decided to push those final 2 days and get it done. You have to be on purpose about things. And I don't know if you guys suffer from it, but I can tell you that for a minute in March, probably March and probably April, I had a little bit of a pandemic pause where I was completely overwhelmed with the fact that everything that I had known was no more. Right? So I had planned this huge conference for my job, this public health conference, and they were like, oh, you're going to need to cancel that. This is before everything kind of like hit the fan. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I've been planning this for a year. What do you mean? And I remember being super hurt, right? And I just, like, I felt like everything was crashing down. The kids were no longer in school, so now they're here, and I'm trying to figure, I'm like, what in the world? And I had this pandemic pause, and I wasted time. I wasted precious time. And then I realized, I was like, you got to get it together. You got to get a grip, right? We're all in this together. And so if you've been on that pandemic pause, I'm just going to tell you, just do something, anything. I think I shared with Carla that, like, I do some things on social media, but not a lot. So I was like, I'm a person who does these appointments, and now I can't see the people. I'm like, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden, you know, someone was like, if the parties are not working, if you're not, why don't you go back to the facials that you all, I started doing 15-minute facials via Facebook Messenger and Zoom. And like I think we counted it in like 12 or 13 days, I had sold $1,400 in skincare. Think about all that wasted time, right? Like all that time, I was like, what do we do? I can't have people over here. I can't go like, what, you know, like, no, get over it and figure out a new way to do it. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, not only has this been such a blessing because I do like the interaction and not just the posting. I love the interaction and her showing me, well, look, I got this going on, or this is happening with my mask, and what do you have for this? And we're talking, and, you know, I have samples, so I'm sending them samples to try, and I'm walking them through them. I'm just putting their face to bed. Like, just let's put your face to bed, and it's like 15 minutes. And it's been so much of a blessing. It's a reconnection. I'm also doing it with people, and you guys may want to try this. I've been facialing people within a certain geographical group, right? But with this, I started reaching out to people from high school in Texas. I started reaching out to people from like summer science programs that I participate, people who don't live anywhere near me, but I could send something to them. And so all of a sudden, these new skincare customers, because I just let go of the pandemic pause and just decided to do what I always did, but just in a different way. Just in a different way, because I don't know when the world's going to open back up for real. So what am I going to just keep sitting there like, oh my goodness, oh my God. No, I got to like get it together. I got to get it together. And so doing that, it's been a be intentional. What is the list? Like, okay, this is my list of 25. Okay, work through that. My next list of 25, being on purpose and working through it just like I would when we were doing things face to face. And then the last thing, T, be transformative. In my statement that I used to say when I first started just speaking to myself about going into leadership, Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And in my affirmation, I talked about renewing the minds of women, not only by getting them to see themselves in a different light, but getting them to see themselves like me, and them being able to provide for their family doing the things that I do. And so part of the reason why I think pivoting is so important, the reason why I wanted to just give you an acronym for that, is that there are a lot of people around us who still haven't learned to pivot. They don't have a Mary Kay example. They don't have this environment. Like, I'm like, it's almost 10 o'clock here. And I'm like, okay. And then I get here and the music is playing all that. I'm like, okay, yes, I want to dance with someone. Like, everyone doesn't have that. Everyone doesn't have that. But we've got something that can really bless the masses if we share it, right? And we know that our founder felt more strongly about us sharing the opportunity, and the marketing plan was set up even before she knew what the product was going to be. So make sure that we're sharing. Make sure that we, share our challenges, share our triumphs, share our trials, so that people can see that we're not all perfect, but we're doing it anyway, and they'll see themselves in it. That's all I got.
Simply perfection all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, for your amazing words. I've been getting messages through my phone. I see the chat. We're all inspired. Susan, Amber, Teresita, Janani, do you guys have any question for our speaker?
You are the bomb. I loved everything you said. It really sunk into me. I don't know. I'm very hard-headed, so when someone speaks to me, it's really hard for your point to get across. It got across. Loved everything you said. It made perfect sense. I related to it a lot because, like you said, when Carla comes to me and I'm like, I'm not bubbly like you. I'm not like that. I'm more, like you said, like I'm more down. I'm more of the tomboy. I don't wear makeup. I'm more of the skincare. I got it. My husband, he don't like this, but he was listening to everything you were saying. So I really appreciate it. I loved it. Loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
The fact that you work the business part-time, have a full-time job, and you drive a pink Cadillac. Wow. For those of you that think that you have to stop what you're doing because Mary Kay is too time consuming, or I don't know, you can't do it unless if you quit everything. She's the perfect example right here. Mother of 3, a wife, a professional. She just pivots, wants more for herself. She didn't need Mary Kay, okay? But she's being that light to others. And I'm just so impressed. You're amazing. You're amazing. And I want to be like you one day.
Thank you. People will often say, well, how do you have time? One of my facials last week said her husband was like, how does Sheikilya have time for this? But you guys think about it with Mary Kay, right? We're setting our schedule. Every facial that I set is set around my family and everything that we have going on. Friday, my oldest son plays varsity football. I don't do anything on Fridays now. Fridays at 6 used to be like a hot time for me to hold appointments. Now that he's varsity, I schedule nothing on Friday. Like, I'm not doing anything on Friday because I choose to go to the school and feed the team pregame meals. I'm at the game and I'm going to be there waiting for him afterwards. And so when people say, like, how do you do it? We get to design our schedule. We get to set our schedule. So when someone says that they don't have time, make sure that they know that they can carve out when they do it. And it looks different for everyone. If they think that they're too busy, just ask them how many hours a week they'd be willing to work the business, and then go to work to fill in whatever allotted time they said with them actually working. You'll be surprised at what you can get done in a little bit of time. And sometimes people think they're busier than they really are until they lay it all out on paper.
Sheikilya, what business plan would you give someone who kind of wants to retake her business and move to the next level? Where can they start
So
off?
is she a new consultant when you say retake? Like she's been in the business for a while?
She's
And
been in the business for a while, and she just doesn't really know how to like move forward, or you know how there's just those people that kind of need to be told what to do.
I
What
have
can
some.
what can you kind of like tell that person that needs a guide on how to work
Yeah.
the business?
So one of the first things that I've realized, because I have people like that, it's really important to me to know what has them not doing it, right? Because even if I give you like a script, if I give you a protocol, I give you the prescription, if there's some head stuff going on that's keeping you from doing it, because one thing that I think we can all agree on is that Mary Kay works when we work it. And even when we feel like, oh, it's not working for me, there's something that we're doing or something that we're not doing that maybe we did in the past. And so I have one right now, and I told her today, I said, if only I could get you to see in you what I see in you. Right? So like I'm trying to understand first before I give her, of course I'm going to encourage her. We're talking about, like, right now we're really focusing on holiday products and getting them excited about that. And I was showing them different ways. Like, I have some people who are really really givers, and so they find themselves more hesitant when it comes to just a straight sale. And I'm like, you do understand that everything that we have is because we've sold something. So last night, what I shared with them is about these I see you gifts. I was trying to see if I had one up here. And it registered with them that, sometimes maybe you can talk to people about gift giving as an option. If you're concerned about just trying to sell to them, we have Thanksgiving that's coming up, which typically isn't a gift giving time, but it can be, especially in this time. Like I said, there are so many things that we realize we've taken for granted. And we're so grateful now for anything that we have, because we always thought we had time. We could do something later. I'll do this. We'll get together later. And now so focusing on, okay, what is it that's holding me up? And if I can figure out exactly what the head thing is, being able to kind of guide her that way, because it's not going to be the same for everyone. Like I realize I have some girls who rock parties and they kill it, but for some reason they feel very hesitant at a facial. Like they love the crowd and kind of but the facial feels uncomfortable to some. And then I have some who the facial is intimate and they love it. It's girlfriend time. The party, they're paralyzed. I have to know the head stuff first. I have to know what are you afraid of? What's holding you up? And sometimes that conversation, one of them said, you ask a lot of questions. And then and when I started answering, I realized that why you're asking me so many questions, because I genuinely want to know. And it's often it's not the truth. It's not the first thing that a person often says, right? Like you keep talking and then you find out, okay, now I know what's going on. Let's talk about that. So if she's yours, talk to her and kind of see if she ever was killing it and stopped killing it, find out why. If she got in and just kind of coasted and now is quiet, just find out why. Because no one starts the business to just kind of be like, want. Something happens. Often something happens, and we gotta, as leaders, find out what that is. Because most people are way more powerful than they realize, and then they feel. And we as leaders see it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Do we have any other questions? 3, 2, any other questions? Okay, I want to speak.
Here, go, take advantage.
She's not going to bite
Thank you very much for everything. I really appreciate all your information that you provide us on how to pivot and giving us a lot of encouragement. And thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate it. I know how it is to juggle. I have a child with disabilities that has cerebral palsy, and he's my little miracle boy because he was born at 6 months, 1 pound, 5 ounces. Wow. And he's actually a Mary Kay consultant. And so I've battled a lot of different obstacles throughout life, and I'm very gracious to God and faithful and thankful for everything. And I've managed to, I got laid off this end of March. And so being here at home, I'm thinking of only the positive. And with the help of my team, with Yanetti's and with Carla, I've been able to grow my business, which I was just doing it just for fun, but it's bringing in extra income, and I'm really having a good time, and I'm trying to think out of the box, and I feel rewarded with making this my new business. So I'm very feeling blessed. And with that note, I have to go do my Holy Circle prayer right now. So I want to say good night and thank you very much for the blessing and for making this a special class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Teresita.
So we were all inspired by you, right? You already knew right off the bat. Ladies, like everyone who's watching, as I'm doing my training, my director training, she's the fourth, like, what do you call it? Like, not episode, but like fourth chapter of your Mary Kay path, right? Your directorship. She's actually under the importance of why, goal setting and vision casting. And after I saw her video, I was so inspired. I paused what I was doing. I stalked her. Like, I went to go find you on Instagram, how can she appear? Like, oh my God. I went first on Facebook. I was like, no. So Instagram is my go-to. And I found you. And ladies, like you guys all think like, oh, well, she's doing great because she's not shy. Like even reaching out to like directors or clients, whoever it is, we're humans. We still get shy. Like, oh, is she gonna not respond? Like, is she gonna reject me? It doesn't matter. You throw yourself out there and look. Like she's here with us today, right here. And I just love your energy. You didn't speak to me when I was watching your video because obviously that was a recording, but I felt that I was sitting right next to you. And when you were talking about your sister, it just brought me so much like me and my sister's dynamic. Like, oh my gosh, she probably sees me as her little, I'm that, right? So I got a chance to meet her as well. Adorable, great sister you have right there, a future director. But thank you so much for accepting me and just being an amazing director sister to me. And I can't wait, even though it's going to be a 6 a.m. call or 5:30.
No.
I am going to.
I'm so sorry it's going to be so early.
It's okay. But you guys, like we all heard you, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you wake up at 4:30. Like, come on. Like,
So I've changed since then. I had an injury, a CrossFit injury, so I've shifted to something else. So I don't get up quite as early as that, but I was getting up for years every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4:58 because I knew exactly how much time I needed to get dressed to not be late. So
got it. Yeah. Well, if you were committed at that time, I could be committed, and it's Monday, so I just can't wait to join the group. Amber and Susan and everyone who's watching. I know Amber definitely got inspired by you. She's over there telling me through chat, like, I feel like I'm her or like she touched me, right? So thank you so much for just being so transparent, so genuine, and so kind to all of us for sharing your knowledge, sharing your time. It's very valuable and we appreciate you. And you'll be hearing from me and my sister because we want to work our pink Cadillac and have it done by December. So we need some tips.
I got you. We can definitely talk about that.
Perfect. So I know it's late over there. So before we continue our class, do you guys have any other questions for our fabulous guest speaker tonight? It's your last chance.
I am Patricia. Actually, I don't have a question, but you just gave me a reaffirmation that we don't need to be like free time. You are a full-time worker, a full-time mom, and still a Cadillac. Then actually that was good to know. Thank you. That was really nice to hear you. Very active, we learned a lot. Thank you.
Very on purpose, very intentional about everything you do. Wow, we're so impressed. Thank you for blessing us with your presence tonight. And you're amazing.
And you'll be a national soon.
I receive it. Thank you.
We'll throw your way. Well, have a great night. We all appreciate you. God bless you. And I will text you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye. Thank you so much. Aw. Guys, how awesome was tonight's guest speaker?
Girl, she is the bomb.com. I feel like I've known her for years.
Or what?
I look, I'm from the hood. I felt her. Like, you don't know how emotional I was getting when she was just like speaking like facts. You know, she was like, I work full time. Like, I'm not leaving my job. Like, I'm not, like, I'm not. Yeah. And like when she said that she was overlooked, I feel that. I felt her 100%. Girl, you know how many neighbors I got who I don't even tell them, like, hey, you got acne, I got you. I don't tell them, you know, because I'm like, for what? They're not going to want to hear it. But then she felt overlooked. You know what I mean? So maybe they feel overlooked. Maybe they're trying to look for that. Like, I have acne, what do I do? And they're probably struggling. And I haven't even told them, like, hey, you know, I sell Mary Kay. It's like skin, it's for your skin. Like, if you're looking, just hit me up. Like, I don't even have to tell them. Like she said, like, you don't even have to tell them. Just let them know. You can contact me whenever you need it. It's not, you're not forced to sell it, you know, just let me know. And like, girl, I don't know, like my husband he was listening and he's like, wait, how does she get so many cars? How do they do it? And I was literally explaining him, like, this is how it happens and this is the match you get. And I'm like, how do I even know this stuff? But I'm paying attention. I loved it. This was the best, like one of the best Zooms. So it was good. It was really good. Loved it.
Well, I'm so happy that you're very moved. As I've told you multiple times, you're very knowledgeable. You have it all. You just have to believe in yourself and put action. Stop doubting yourself, because if I can see it and other people here can see your potential, just believe it and just give yourself a try. Like, who cares about judgment? You heard our speaker today. You saw you have that blessing of having so many people around you and so many people who gravitates towards you. You have a great connect. So just take advantage of that. Help others. Don't really see it as, oh, I'm just selling. No, like, you're helping their skin. Like, you know, a lot of people, like you just mentioned right now, I heard you saying that they have a lot of acne. Hey, we can help all of them, right? You're helping, and along the way, you helping them helps you too, right? So you guys all helping each other. But that's great that you are tuning in, because you're able to explain this to your husband, and a person who involves their partner into their job, they're 10 times stronger and more powerful, right? So I just know that you can achieve it all. Even if you're on your trip, you can still send out messages, and I will share with all of you guys. What did you say?
I was telling you, like, I was like, girl, you know it, because she was talking about how she sends samples. I was like, girl, I'm about to go online right now and order some samples.
So, guys, let's stop the recording.